Bottleneck is defined as a step in any production or process service. It pinches at a certain point, constricting the flow of the entire process and limits the throughput. A throughput is the movement of what goes in and what comes out of the production process. Let's further clarify what a bottleneck is. An outcome that is negatively affected by its process, or it can be an activity that stunts its own growth, and what it does is it prevents its process from reaching its maximum potential. When designing or improving a process, it's best to identify and correct the bottlenecks. Why? Because it can increase the speed of the process, reduce the waiting and work-in-process inventory, and it'll use the resource more efficiently. At a bottleneck, the input exceeds the capacity, then it restricts the total output that is being produced. An hour lost at bottleneck is an hour lost for the entire process of output. A common class example is our need for a stamp from Professor Wu with limited opportunities and a time constraint.
Bottleneck is the work activity that effectively limits throughput of the entire process. An example in service-related industry is when tellers at a bank can only take one customer at a time. For instance, if there are 20 customers with only 3 tellers helping, a bottleneck has occurred. A manufacturing example occurs when a car assembly line has a high demand for cars that need to be produced, but there is only a certain amount of vehicles that can be assembled. An implication to this will be, for example, if Module A gives 100 units and has to go through Module B, which can only produce 20 in order to get to its destination, in this case Module C. Therefore, the constraint and amount of units that the bottleneck can only process will be 20. An implication for this situation will be to use the theory of constraints to solve this bottleneck.
The theory of constraints states that a constraint is anything that prevents a system from achieving its goal. The theory of constraints adopts the common idiom, a chain is no stronger than its weakest link. Here are the 5 steps that can help a manager find and solve a bottleneck. The 5 focusing steps are: identify the system's constraint, decide how to get the most out of the constraint, align the whole system or organization to support the decision made above, make other major changes needed to increase the constraint's capacity, and finally, if a constraint breaks in the previous steps, go back to step 1.
Hey, if you guys want a great ride, get in this line. It's only 7 tickets.
We can't. We're saving our money for the Balls and Jennifer Love Hewitt's mouth game. Kyle, will you relax, you pink eye? We have plenty of money. Come on, you guys. It'll be sweet. This ride better be good. Yeah, this line is way too long. I think we're almost to the end. We better be. We've been in line for almost an hour. There we go. Finally.
Did you enjoy the ride?
What ride? Yeah.
This was the line ride, a real-life simulator of a long line.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's 5 tickets, thank you very much. Come see us again.
Managerial examples. Bottlenecks occur on an assembly line. Some equipment might be older than others, so you should create flowcharts to break down the process, and by placing the slower machines toward the end to fix the issue. IT employee creates a bottleneck because the employee has too many requests coming in. Solutions include hiring another IT employee or clearly defining the service level agreement when outsourcing. Improperly trained receiving department will hinder a warehouse's product distribution system. Managers can update technology to hire additional staff to quicken the process. In a restaurant, the amount of stovetops available might create a bottleneck. So many stoves will only cook so many dishes. Upgrading existing equipment or buying an additional stove will help solve this constraint. A bottleneck often found throughout projects is communication from team members. A solution would be to implement a dashboard where you can post project updates and upload documents.
Everyday types of bottlenecks. You aren't always trained how to do someone else's job. Cross-training can lead to smoother operations. People dislike waiting in line. Costco and Fresh and Easy has an effective solution, a handheld scanner that scans items while customers shop and wait in line. Starbucks is a busy place. The solution is to have an express machine to only serve coffee or tea. Close-minded managers do not want to change their operations, even if it is inefficient. They need to work with their employees to enhance company culture and maximize productivity and profits. A severe bottleneck occurs frequently on highways. To have carpool lanes throughout would be more efficient and can avoid accidents during traffic jam hours.
Thank you, Reg. Big sales in a stampede. Shoppers pushed and shoved their way through Black Friday today, one of the busiest shopping days of the year, of course. The mad dash into a Walmart store knocked shoppers to the ground near Grand Rapids, Michigan at 5 in the morning. Despite several people falling to the ground, shoppers charged ahead, fixated on doorbuster deals. A 13-year-old girl helping a pregnant woman get up had to be taken away by ambulance. Another woman who was injured was taken to the hospital. Her husband blamed the store for a lack of security.